Usually on this web series, I try to figure out things that I'm unfamiliar with. But with this episode, I'm going to be talking about 3 things that I've learned from my own experience with coming to terms with my identity. This is my gender story. It's okay to be whoever you need to be. When I was in first year, I got into a conversation with my friend about social constructs and this idea that society has placed certain ideas and ideologies on us. So for example, men have to be tall, strong, and courageous, and women need to be dainty, fragile, clean, and well put together. Once I found out that gender is also a socially constructed idea, I kind of came to terms with the fact that I might not be a girl. I grew up in a town where the only representation of gender was cisgender identities, and a cisgender identity is essentially an identity where you identify with your biological sex. I didn't even know being a masculine individual was an option. I was feminine my entire life. I identified as a girl for the first 18 years of my life. I did some research on different identities, and I found out about this pronoun, which is a they-them pronoun. Essentially, they-them pronouns, it is a gender-neutral pronoun. People who are non-binary can use it, and that's probably the most, popular way that it is used. Or people who don't identify with a certain binary, which is like fully man or fully woman. But it really depends on person to person. The singular they was word of the year in 2016, which is really cool. It's a lot more commonly used than a lot of people think. So for example, that's their jacket. I'm going with them. Oh no, it's actually theirs. I asked my friends if they could experiment with the they-them pronouns with me. And later on, I found out that I was also comfortable using he-him pronouns. So now I use they-them and he-him. I really grew into my pronouns, and ever since I've been able to breathe a lot easier, and I've also been able to express myself through clothing. About 1.5 years ago, I went on testosterone, which is the hormone that is naturally and more heavily produced in biological males.
Testosterone comes in multiple forms. The form that I'm going to be using is injections. And so over time, as I inject myself, I will go through puberty again.
And ever since I've gone through what the trans community likes to call second puberty, which is essentially what it sounds like. It's puberty, but a second time with the gender of your choice.
Hi, my name's Cal, and this is my voice. 1 week on T. Hi, my name's Cal, and this is my voice. 1 month on testosterone.
Hi, my name is Cal, and this is my voice. 3 months on testosterone.
My name is Cal, and this is my voice. 6 months on testosterone.
I would just like to note that every trans person's experience is different. Some people feel like they want to physically transition. Other people feel like they don't. People do care. Reach out. It was really difficult getting people to use the he, him, and they, them pronouns, especially when I was pre-testosterone. But I saw so many people trying and fighting really hard to fight against what they've been socially taught. My birth given name is different than Cal, and people also had to relearn that. So I watched people fight against what their brain wanted to do.
I am currently in front of Service Ontario, and I am about to get my legal name changed.
I came out as a gay girl when I was 13, and I did not get any support really from the people around me, whether it be family, friends, school, work, etc. So it usually goes through 3 steps. The first step is that people don't even realize that they're misgendering me, so they'll refer to me as her, and then I'll be like, hey, you used she, her pronouns, and they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, okay. The second step is that people will pay attention to their words and actually pick up when they do misgender me, and then they'll apologize profusely, and I really appreciate that. And then finally, the third step is they're very, very aware of their words, and there's little to no, flaw in gendering me, which is really cool. It's really awesome seeing people get to that level. Some of the places on campus that have helped me are places like the LGBTQ Resource Center, which I haven't visited too many times in my 4 years here, but it's really nice to know that there is a place to go to when I need to go back to my community. SWAC, which is a Student Wellness and Accessibility Center, has helped immensely. They're actually the ones who got me my testosterone and got me prescribed. And finally, work on campus. I've had several work-study positions, and they have been great with pronouns, using my name. Actually, one of the places I worked implemented pronouns into introductions and into like our name cards and everything. It's been really, really supportive. No matter where you find yourself, there are people who care. It might not feel that way, but there are people who care about you. There are people who would do anything for you. It's hard to see the people who are around when you're in the dark, but they're there. Don't be afraid of change. You lose a lot of friends, like a lot. When I was outed in high school, I lost everyone I knew. I've been distant from my parents for like my entire life, and then when I came out, it wedged a gap even larger, to be honest. There are people in first year who I was best friends with that I don't talk to anymore. But in the exact same breath, I've picked up people who I am intensely thankful, and people that I love, and people who help me breathe. And I am so thankful for the people who have just walked into my life and walked out of my life, because the people who were in my life in first year, those are the people that I needed then. But as humans are, we evolve, we shed skin. I am not the same person that I was in first year, and they aren't either. And that's okay. It's okay that you have to shed people from your life. It's okay that you move on. It's okay that you evolve. And the person that I am now surrounds himself with people that they need now. I think it's also worth noting that my entire life I've always been a very submissive individual, very passive. I learned a lot of assertiveness in the past 4 years. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, or be more assertive. Be your own best friend. And ultimately, it's okay to change, really. You are not the person you were a year ago, you're not the person you were 4 years ago. Maybe you are not the person you were yesterday, and that's all right, and you are going to keep on changing. And that's the nature of being alive. I think I'm at my best when I'm aware of the question, who do I want to be? And when I plan how I want to get to being that person, and then taking the experiences I have from the past and implementing them into that plan. Everything is a contradiction. Humans are walking contradictions. And everything changes in life, and that might be the only thing that we can be really sure about. It was terrifying admitting to myself that I'm not a girl, because my entire life, that's all I've known. But in the very same breath, I have never felt more like myself.